What's going on, guys? Patrick here, bringing you a brand new video. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. Today we're going to be going over, is Bitcoin on its way to $100,000? We're also going to be looking at some technical analysis, some crypto news, as well as tons of other news that went on in the cryptocurrency space. But guys, before we get started with that, yes, I am back. As you guys can tell, I have not uploaded in like 1 to 2 weeks, and the reason for that is because I'm sure you guys have heard of the YouTube purge, or the YouTube crypto purge that happened, where a lot of YouTubers got strikes on their channel and weren't able to upload. Well, looks like mine was a little bit delayed because I actually got a strike like a week and a half ago, and that's why I haven't been able to upload for the last week. So I've just taken the week basically to focus on all my other businesses, have fun trading and all that, waiting for the strike to be removed like right now, so that I can go back to making videos for you guys. But that does bring me into this. If you guys are not following me on Instagram yet, there is going to be a link down below for Instagram and also for my other YouTube channel where I talk about business and making money online. Make sure you guys go ahead and follow that so you guys can stay up to date on everything that's going on, especially if YouTube is to give me another strike, which means I'm not going to be able to upload for like another month. But enough about that. The links are down below in the description. Let's dive into some technical analysis and look at what's going on with the Bitcoin price. First off, let's make this big and take a look at what's going on. As you guys can tell, if you guys have been following the price at all, we've actually been able to hit, at least on the BitMEX chart, all the way up to $10,200. So again, potentially trying to break that $10,000 mark. As you guys can tell, what happened from that as well, one big red candle brought us all the way back down to $9,700. So now we're sort of waiting to see if 10K was rejected, or if we are going to again go back, retest it, and break above it and then stay above it. That's something we're obviously waiting to see how that plays out. But if we just look at the daily chart, if anybody was surprised by this red candlestick, then you have not been following my channel for a long time, because even though I wasn't able to upload, I've been telling you guys to watch out for when the EMA ribbon has a big gap between the price and the EMA ribbon. Usually that means we're going to have either sideways action to allow the EMA ribbon to catch up, or we're going to have a price pullback, because we usually don't have huge gaps for very long. And that's exactly what we're seeing happen. We saw it happen back here when we started to have a huge gap. Same thing over here when we started to have a huge gap. We've seen this happen over and over again, so this should have been no surprise. But the good news is obviously Bitcoin on the daily, at least on the bigger time frames, is still well above the EMA ribbon. It's still overall in a bullish trend, and although it could come back down all the way to the low 9,000s to test the support that we have, as long as we don't break below it, then we are still overall in a more bullish trend. Now, if we zoom into the 4-hour, we're going to see something very similar. Again, the 4-hour EMA ribbon is currently, we are above it, so that is still bullish. However, you can see exactly where we're in testing the support right now. And again, if we break below that, that does start to look a little bearish, like we can see on the 1-hour chart. Because on the 1-hour chart, we did actually have a break below the EMA ribbon, and now we are seeing it act as resistance, and we are trading below it right now. So in the 1 hour, we might see a little more bearish action. However, or the overall sentiment, the overall trend is still bearish. However, on the 4-hour and on the daily, we are still bullish. That's going to depend on what time frame you're looking at and how frequent you actually want to make your trades. But speaking of trades, what we've been doing the last, 1.5 to 2 weeks that I haven't been able to upload. Obviously, I've still been in the Trade Alert group. If you guys are interested again in following every single one of my trades, first link in the description or the first link in the comments. I post every single one of the trades that brought me to a 6-figure portfolio directly in this group. We have altcoin trades, we have leverage trades, and you guys can pretty much just copy and paste every single trade that I enter, even when YouTube doesn't let me upload. So the last like 3-4 weeks, we've had like 1 trade hit stop loss, maybe 2 in the last month. It's been very, very successful. So overall, it's been going very well. We've been very successful with that. And of course, making money is always fun, especially when YouTube doesn't let me upload. Now, something else we can look at is obviously the CME futures gap. Now that, again, if you've been following the price and if you've been following technical analysis at all, myself or anybody else on YouTube, you know that the CME gap is something that we look at very, very often. And we see the gap usually is filled sooner rather than later. It's usually filled pretty fast after the gap is formed. This time it was actually very fast, because the pretty much 2 candles later, we had one huge wick down in the 4-hourly to perfection, touching the EMA ribbon. Again, these things, some people think it's coincidence, some people think it's manipulation, but either way, filled the gap. Easy profits if you guys were able to jump into that. I personally was not in this trade. However, those of you who have followed and have been following the CME gaps, you might have been able to capture that. So if you did, congratulations. Also on the 1 hour chart, usually the 4 hour and the 1 hour might differ, but the 1 hour, it was filled as well. So no more gap. We are looking for the next one, of course, if we see one happen next weekend. Now, altcoins is something most people have not really touched a lot on, maybe starting to talk a little more about it, especially with recent pumps that we've seen in altcoins. But to me, if we look at the Bitcoin dominance right now, it is at a very, very strong support level. So it's going to be interesting to see if we actually bounce above that, in which case we can expect Bitcoin to continue to perform very, very well, and altcoins might see a little bit of sideways action or even take more of a drop, right? See some red in the altcoin market. Or if we do break below this very strong support, then we could expect actually Bitcoin's price to maybe move a little slower, maybe consolidate a little bit sideways, while altcoins start to perform and make up for the big drop that they had, obviously, within the last like 6-7 months to 1 year, right? Since like April 1st, 2019, where they've been on a very big drop. And again, recently we started to see a pickup. But if we do see it, Bitcoin dominance break below, I would expect to see altcoins perform very, very well. USDT pairs and BTC pairs. Meanwhile, Bitcoin might move a little bit slower. Doesn't mean it's going to drop, but it could mean it's going a little bit slower. Now, for everybody using BitMEX as well, we can see BitMEX actually added a new XRP perpetual product. This is XRP USD, right? So it is the USD pair to XRP on BitMEX. Now, if you guys know, I use BitMEX and Bybit to do my leverage trading. So if you're interested in either one of those and you guys want to follow, my trades on there, they are linked in the description as well. It costs nothing extra to you guys, but it does support the channel if you go ahead and use those links. And again, we're going to be able to use XRP USD, so that's something I'm going to be keeping an eye out on as well. This is on BitMEX specifically. Bybit has a few different pairs and they work a little bit different, but overall, they both allow you to leverage trade. Now, if we look at the actual market, what exactly is going on over here? A $284 billion market cap. Bitcoin down 2% after a relatively good week. Again, a lot of profits were able to be made if you guys were able to get in the right trade. And that's something we've been enjoying the last few weeks. If we look at the last 24-hour change, OKB is actually up 36%. Huobi token, so a few exchange tokens up 20%. Lisk is up. We can scroll down and see it's a pretty even, maybe a little more red than green, but overall a pretty even day in the market, with the biggest loser being Decentraland, Holo, Dogecoin, all down, but again, down after seeing some very, very big green days of the $100,000 Bitcoin price. This comes from a very, very popular figure in the crypto space, Anthony Pompliano. I'm sure you guys have heard the name before. He believes Bitcoin is on the price climb to $100,000. He believes it has started. The climb to 100K has officially started, and I believe he said that by the end of 2021 is where he believes the price could hit $100,000. Now, of course, this is a very, very blanket statement, a very broad statement. It's saying the Bitcoin price could hit $100,000 by the end of 2021. Of course, it could. Bitcoin price could hit $1 million by the end of this year, if we're talking about what it could do. Now, as a prediction, I want to get your guys' opinion. $100,000 by the end of 2021. That gives us pretty much just under 2 years for Bitcoin to hit $100,000 from the $10,000 that it's at right now. So it's a 10x in value in just under 2 years. Let me know your guys' thoughts if you think that's possible in the comments down below. Again, the recent bullish action that we've seen Bitcoin try to break above 10K has brought a lot of people to believe that this is the official climb. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to have red days in between. Like I showed you guys, on the 1 hour, we are looking a little bit more bearish in terms of we are on a downward trend. Meanwhile, if we look at the 4 hour and the 1 day or the daily, we see a more bullish trend. So again, those differ a little bit, meaning that on the 1 hour scale, we could see drops and then we can obviously break above. We see a lot more fluctuation in terms of bullish and bearish trends on the 1 hour versus the 4 hour and the daily. Of course, the daily chart, we've been in a bullish trend pretty much since the beginning, or just the first few days of January in 2020. We broke above the EMA ribbon and we've stayed above there ever since, using it as support. But overall, the trend direction has been going to the upside. So again, Pompliano saying Bitcoin just hit $10,000. I still think that Bitcoin will hit $100,000 by the end of December 2021. Fixed supply, increasing demand, time will tell. In terms of the economics of it, right? So if supply is fixed and we have an increase in demand, obviously that does mean the price is going to go up. That's common sense. That's just economics. But there are a lot of other factors that have to come into play for Bitcoin's price to 10x. That's why I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts. Is it possible? 100%. I think it's possible for Bitcoin price to hit $100,000 by 2021, by the end of it. It's definitely possible. Is it likely? There's definitely a few milestones that we want to hit first before we take a look at the end goal of $100,000. So again, I'm going to be taking profits along the way. I'm going to be trading along the way, picking up when I think we are at the bottom, dollar cost averaging down, and then obviously writing it up and selling in parts as when I think we are starting to reach resistances and when we're starting to reach the top. But ending on some good news for everybody who likes Cardano, and there's a good amount of people who follow the Cardano project, recently been added to binance.us. So for everybody who's in the US and are using binance.us, you're now able to access Cardano, right? So that's pretty cool. Trade ADA USD. It's available on the binance.us app. Congratulations if you guys are trying to use that, then good news, you can go ahead and do that. But guys, that's going to be it for this video. Again, sorry if it was a little bit rough. It's been like a week and a half or 2 weeks since I've recorded a video, which obviously means I'm not as much into the things. I have to get used to it again, but we are back. As long as YouTube doesn't give me another strike, I plan on going back to our regular uploads of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for another video.